We're looking at homework from section 6.1. This is question number 17. You are given the sample mean and the population standard deviation. Use this information to construct the 90% and 95% confidence intervals for the population mean. Interpret the results and compare the widths of the confidence intervals. If convenient, use technology to construct the confidence intervals. A random sample of 45 home theater systems has a mean price of $117. Assume the population standard deviation is $16.70. So the first thing we have to do to construct the 90% confidence interval is to find the error. If we have a confidence level of 0.90, the ZC value is 1.645. So error equals ZC times sigma of x bar, which is ZC times sigma divided by the square root of n, which is 1.645 times 16.70 divided by the square root of 45. When we enter that into our calculator, we find a value of 4.09520943. Rounded to 2 decimal places is 4.10. Once we have the error, we find the confidence interval by doing x bar minus the error and x bar plus the error. So in this particular instance for the 90% confidence interval, that's going to be 117 minus 4.10, 117 plus 4.10, which results in a 90% confidence interval of 112.90 to 121.10. And that is your 90% confidence interval. To construct the 95% confidence interval, we have to find the error. In this case, when C is 0.95, the ZC score is 1.96. So we find the error with the error formula. Error equals ZC times sigma of x bar, which is ZC times sigma divided by the square root of n, which is going to be 1.96 times 16.70 divided by the square root of 45, which results in the decimal 4.879398469. Rounded to 2 decimal places is 4.88. To find the confidence interval, we take the sample mean and subtract the error, and then we take the sample mean and add the error. So that's x bar minus e and x bar plus e. So we have 117 minus 4.88 and 117 plus 4.88, which results in a 95% confidence interval of 112.12 to 121.88. And that is your 95% confidence interval. So now we can interpret our results. When we find a confidence interval, the level of confidence represents how certain we are that the population mean falls in the interval. So that immediately eliminates choice A, because choice A says that we're confident that the sample mean falls in the interval, but it should be the population mean. So we're left with choices B and C. Also recall that the higher the level of confidence, the wider the interval. So that leaves us here with option B. With 90% confidence, it can be said that the population mean price lies in the first interval. With 95% confidence, it can be said that the population mean price lies in the second interval. The 95% confidence interval is wider than 90%. It's that last sentence that's different than part C. In part C, it says the confidence interval is narrower than the 90%, and that's incorrect. That's your answer.